All right, people, welcome to the second episode. We are talking today about personal branding, social media and stuff. Like, how do you feel about that?
Yeah. I think, Casey, I'll jump right in. I think what's really important, and I didn't really take this seriously until, the brand deal started coming in,
Mhm,
the overall brand started coming in. But, in 2020, I started Chef Authorized,
mhm,
and Chef Authorized was born from doing some duets for dishes and stuff like that, like chef driven stuff. And I have to say, I think it's really important to, if you're running restaurants, if you're a chef in a restaurant, if you're a general manager, it's super important to start building a personal brand, right?
mhm.
Because nobody can take that away from you. It's just, I think it needs to happen nowadays. It's more prevalent. And actually, I'm about to start doubling down and telling people my story and how we got here and
Yeah,
what we're doing in Montana, because I feel like there's such a disconnect with the Ember page and the Chef Authorized page.
yeah,
And it's because I've been putting way more time and effort on the restaurants,
yeah,
because that's what I truly love. So like for me, it's funny because I tell chefs all the time, like, you need to post social media. You need to have, put it in the P&L, get a
yeah,
marketer, get somebody who is on it. Social media is free,
mhm,
but sometimes we worry about what's gonna be posted, and
yeah,
what other people think. And I'm telling you right now, don't.
yeah. Just
Just go
post.
for it. People want to see that authenticity. And I think what's really important with Ember, we caught our stride early,
Yeah.
but the only downfall is all of our followers and stuff. It's worldwide.
No,
It's
no,
not
correct. It's
in
not
Montana.
local. Like, it's not just there.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and so like, and here's the reality: we have not yet monetized our following.
Dude.
And when I say monetize, I mean like convert to an actual sale.
Yeah,
And I just hate to say it like that, but it's true. Like, we're not going to sit here and waste time and beat around the bush. But I think it's really important to build the following. Like on Instagram, like, you can see where nobody's saying, hey, come to the restaurant at 5 to 7 to do this, and then here's this what we no, but we want to tell a story. We want to have people engage, because social media is entertainment.
yeah,
When people are hopping online and they're scrolling, like, they want to be entertained, they want to laugh,
yeah.
and it's just like that recent egg video that I posted. That was so funny to me. You know what I'm saying? But
Like, how dare
and I
you
was like,
flaunt
yeah,
eggs?
we'll yeah, and it was funny because I was like, we'll post this on Chef Authorized, but we won't put that on the restaurant,
Yeah,
pages. But just so everybody knows, it's a skit. It's
yeah.
made up. Don't think that I'm over there selling drugs, bro,
Be
because
great.
that part of my life is over. Yeah,
That's three
but
for
it's funny
20,
because a lot of
bro.
yeah, 3 for 20. Yeah, hey, but it's just funny because, like, I was like, we should totally do that, and we did. It took us like a couple minutes to shoot, but like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
fun because I think, and what I'm meaning is, like, I think that's what needs to happen with chefs. I think we take everything so seriously. I think,
Mhm.
like, sometimes it's just like, we get in the restaurant and we're just like head down, focused. Like, dude, take a camera and record yourself doing it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Good example. Like, I know a lot of there's not allowed phones on the line and stuff like that. In some kitchens, but like for me, I actually promote it. Like, good example with Ryder. I
Uh-huh.
said, Ryder, just record. Like,
This
I
film
told
stuff.
him, I said, bro, if you would have started filming when we were at Bullseye, it would have been way, we would have had way more now. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But like, just him filming a day in the life got him, 10, 20,000 followers
uh-huh.
easily. And the reality is I think social media is getting better, right?
Yeah, I think so too.
Creators are monetizing. YouTube is YouTube is paying the most. Like, it's crazy, but
Yeah.
it's only going to get more prevalent where you can start to monetize for real. And I think
Mhm.
it's just super important. Like, if you're a chef out there, just post it. Just post it.
I think I'm in
Um, you
the
know,
I'm in the other boat. So I understand, like, if we look at just both of our pages side to side, you guys do more of the, I want to say, like, the entertainment side, like, as you mentioned. However, I'm totally opposite. I'm like, buy my shit.
yeah,
Come to me. But like, that's literally what I use the socials for, specifically. But like, my people know already. They're looking out for that, for the specials or for the updates. So
yeah,
it's a way to communicate for me. So I guess it just all depends on what you want to do. So now I'm transitioning into doing a bit more of the sketches, the entertainment and stuff. But I'm still will always prioritize. Hey, this is what I have coming up. Like, for now. So in March I have ramen classes. A
yeah.
lot of people have
How are
signed
those
up.
going, by the way?
Dude, it went well. So I had the first one last night. We had 79 people that came out for the classes. I packed out 3 classes pretty much. And, I without having to, like, bombard them with too much info on their brains, I just focus on soup, the noodles, and, like, a simple topping. That's it. was like, let's get these correct. This is how you kind of get to it. Any questions, concerns. So like for the next 45 minutes, an hour, they were just asking me a slew of questions. And I was just like, it takes 3 days. It takes 4 days. It takes this much. You're gonna set it to here. Literally notes and pen pads. All these people were doing it. They didn't even care what I brought to the table. Truly, they're just like, yeah, this is cool, but like,
Did you leave them with a care package or anything like that?
so they got to have the fruits in my soup. So for the specific pop up yesterday, I made a chicken ramen, and I was
Mhm.
explaining to them this broth took me 4 days. So I started it Wednesday just to serve it to you today, Saturday. And they couldn't, their brains couldn't fathom it. I was like, this
Yeah.
is why X, Y, Z, et cetera, et cetera. And they're like, okay. And then the noodles, I was explaining to them how to make it. I didn't make the noodles. I had my purveyor make this for me, but I was like, it naturally takes about 7 days to cure. So I think everyone's eyes kind of open and they were just like, oh, we didn't realize it takes that long to make your dish. Because like when they see me on socials, literally, because I do the POV stuff, right? Like I have a little camera here.
Yeah.
Dude, it's
Uh-huh.
45 seconds for a bowl of
Yeah.
ramen. And they're like, oh yeah, it takes you 45 seconds. I'm like, if you only knew how much stuff goes into it. So I
Yeah.
think it was a night, it was an experience for everyone involved. Lots of questions, lots of good feedback, and then they all signed up for the March ones coming up too. That's more inclusive though, so that will be at the shop. So yeah, I'm all about it. I was stoked. So
That's a good
hopefully,
idea. Yeah, I was what I wanna do is I wanna do the same thing, but, have it up in the event space because we have an event space above
yeah.
the restaurant, and I want it to be reoccurring, right? Where 1 month we're doing X, 1 month we're
Mhm,
doing, Z, we order the stuff, everybody leaves the goodie bag, or they
mhm,
just, they're able to make the recipe as well, but it's like
mhm.
a in-person live cooking class.
Yeah, dude. People have so many questions. They didn't understand too. They're like, why is this oil paired with that? Or why is this bitter? Or why is this not sweet? Because those are their kind of palates. I'm trying to explain to
Yeah,
them, it's all not necessarily your choice, but like some things work well with each other, and that's what you kind of want to pair with. But for my specific purposes, I think the biggest questions were when I was explaining to them how to make the soup, because I don't use vegetables when I do the broth. A lot of people will put the vegetables and stuff. I was like, okay, if you use the vegetables, what do you do after the veggies are done? People were just kind of stunned. They didn't know how to
yeah,
explain. They're like, well, we throw it out. I was like, okay, you would, but it's technically still good. You can still eat it. For me, I noticed after doing this for so long, I could save on the veggies, but if I make my oil as fruity and as vegetal as possible, which is the drama oil, I save all that stuff and I don't have to waste the food. So it's more like a waste management more so than anything. And so
yeah,
for them, they were like, "Oh, okay," but like you can use veggies. But they just they see it on TV. That's what they immediately gravitate towards too.
yeah,
I just had the
yeah.
experience of I tried it all kind of, and this is how my soup kind of gets to you. So
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I think the reality is like when you're doing cooking classes, it's so important to like articulate and like stuff that comes to us easy
correct.
doesn't come easy to everybody else, right?
Yeah.
Like if people only knew the struggle for me to try to use local and support local and
Yeah.
really focus on Montana cuisine and all that good stuff, it's way harder. It's way
And
easier to grab a clipboard and just order from Cisco. Like I hate to say it,
oh,
but
of
it is.
course, of
But
course.
but I also think that this year is going to be the year where we're really explaining that. And we did that last year. Like, yes, this is, all of this. Like, I remember we had this asparagus dish on the menu, and I was like, people, like, it, it's one of my, like, I wouldn't say a signature, but it
Yeah.
is one of my most popular dishes I've ever created.
Hey.
And, it was a brunch dish. So there's a poached egg on there, there's yuzu hollandaise, it's
Mhm.
grilled asparagus, some flowers and stuff like that, but it's a spring dish. And it's funny because I dropped this plate down and I said, "Here it is. This is Montana grown asparagus." Blah blah blah. I start going into it. And I'm like, and guess what? This is only available for the next 2 weeks
Yeah.
because that's how short the season is.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Well, what do you mean?" And I'm like, "Well, the asparagus he has about 70 pounds left that can be harvested,
Yeah.
and we go through about 20 pounds, 20 to 30 pounds a week."
Yeah.
And they're like, "But he can't just grow more." I'm like, "No, it takes 2 years to grow asparagus. Like, you know
But
what I
you can
mean?
just
Like
buy
it."
it in the
Yeah,
store.
exactly. You can get it from Super One. I had somebody tell me that. It was crazy. I had
Okay.
so we weren't oh, go ahead.
And I was gonna say, like, what's currently in season in February in Montana?
Oh, nothing, man.
Oh,
We're
okay.
pulling from fumes.
Is it-
Yeah, and I think you know, moving this year, you know, I think it's going to be really important that we advocate for the farmers and ranchers that make our food. You know, as a chef, I'm just the craftsman. I just make, you know, I just take what Mother Nature gives and makes it special. But I think there's a huge disconnect between rancher, farmer, and consumer. You know,
Uh-huh.
and let's face it, guys, like people don't understand the restaurants are getting more and more expensive. It just is what it is. It's almost like a
Yeah.
luxury, but it's awesome because guess what? That's where you create experiences. That's where you get freshly cooked food. It's not like
Uh-huh.
the norm. It's like, dude, and it's just you know, you can see it. Prices are increasing, and that's why it's super important we focus on vertical integration, you know, and not letting the, you know, the imported meats and vegetables and all that take over.
Uh-huh. So, hey,
Yeah.
I had an idea, a question for you, I should say. Would you prefer going to a restaurant that looks the part, but the food is meh, or the other way around, where it's just like, oh, it looks like a divey restaurant per se, but the food is like phenomenal. Which team are you in?
I think I'm the second. I
Yeah,
appreciate
same.
and respect all restaurants, but like for me, you know, as I get older, I'm just not too into like having a fine dining experience anymore because of
Yeah,
my kids. You know what I mean? And it's like,
I
dude, I
feel
can't
yeah.
sit down for 3 hours, bro.
I
Like
know.
tasting menus are great, but it's just like I think they're great for kitchens and I think they're great for price point and experience, but also like sometimes they're just not realistic. You know, when you go to
Yeah,
a tasting only restaurant, like if I'm with my wife, it's cool. Like, but you
yeah.
know, sitting down for 3 hours gets rough, man.
No, yeah.
You know,
I can only
I
assume
think
so.
my favorite type of eating experience is K barbecue, man. Korean barbecue. I love
Oh
it.
my god, I
I
love me
love
a
it, man. I love it
yeah,
when you order it and then all of a sudden you just get all that banchan and then you can just start grilling away. The meats come, you know, you can
yeah.
just eat the side. Like it's such an awesome experience. And I was really hoping one day I could make that like, you know, take that idea and do it like, you know, more of like American style where like you can
Dude,
have like surf and turf, little different appetizers. You know what I mean? It just comes out one shot. Everybody gets the same thing. Like
you can make it happen, bro. What?
I know.
You could do that
I
right
know.
now.
I want to. The only problem is a lot of people don't understand this, but it's the ventilation in the actual restaurant
Correct.
that
Correct. That's what I was
that's
gonna
why
say.
they
Like,
that's that infrastructure is expensive.
yeah.
So especially if you want to use solid fuel like I do,
Uh,
no chance, bro. You got to use gas. But putting gas in the middle of a table, and then you know, you got to. There's just so much more
uh,
to it, and you know,
is
it's just
there? Do you are you guys able to have seats outside? Is that a thing?
but
Do you have
what
like
was that?
space
Say again?
for? Do you have space for like seating outside?
Yeah, I mean, not at Ember, no, no way. This
Oh,
would be a new
okay.
concept.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Because I was saying like
but
you
I think
know for the summer, plop tables outside. Do an outside event where you do said stuff outside. I think that'd be cool.
yeah, I think for now, but it's I told my wife I said, listen, we're not doing anything else except for making sure Ember and Grano are fucking like top, like
Yeah.
profitable, booming. Like we have to get the money while it's good during season. Our season
Mhm.
is from May to October.
Mhm.
And honestly, we're going to capitalize on that
Of course.
and then kind of take the winter off to relax, you know, and just make sure we're paying the bills and stuff. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's because it's like, you know, where our revenue in the off months are, it's tough. It's
Dude.
like it's rough, man. And so it's just
Mhm.
super important that we pay attention to that. You know, the sales have to match the labor. And
Yeah.
so that's kind of what you know, that's kind of what we're going to focus on this year. Is just making sure these two businesses are absolutely profitable. I'm going to spend every waking moment focusing on making sure we're optimized.
Man on a mission. Dude, I thought I was
Yeah.
optimized for January and February, but I guess the market just
No.
swings somewhere else
Do
this
you
year. So I'm just
you
like,
pay yeah, do you pay monthly rent?
monthly. Yeah.
Yeah, is it expensive?
No. I'll tell you about I don't mind. I pay 2 grand a month on my space.
Oh, man, that's not bad at all.
But there's no seats. It's just a kitchen. Literal
Yeah.
kitchen.
Yeah.
So like just back to my
What is
kind
the
of
is it a restaurant? So is it an operating restaurant or
it's it used to be a catering kitchen. Catering like just for prep pretty much. I'm using it as a not a full service, but part kitchen, part to go restaurant. So you can dine
yeah.
in, but you can absolutely put the order there if you want. But for the most part, everyone knows it's online. So
Yeah.
Uber, you know, third parties or my website will get you the food pretty much too.
Yeah. Do you so and you have it every single day of the week?
No, I'm off Tuesday, Wednesday.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Is somebody else in there while you're off? Or
So we're trying to find somebody else. So because usually there's two of us there. Like businesses, one in the morning, one at night. I'm usually at night, so it's not a big deal. But for the time being, because we lost a tenant December, so we're trying to find a replacement for the time being. So it's just me. But yes, usually two people can be in there.
yeah. That's pretty cool, man. That's a good deal.
No,
Is it
it's
a
a good deal.
y-
But
year lease or
oh,
you do it monthly?
I'm straight monthly. Yeah,
Dang, that's good, man.
I know.
Yeah, I think it's super important not to get over your skis, man. I think with Ember, we spent way too much money on the place. So it's like
Mhm.
the CapEx. I mean, it's a brand new restaurant, so we
Correct.
have years to pay back, but like the reality is like if I were to go into it now, I think I would take over an existing restaurant
Yeah,
unless I had the capital to do it again, like to do it,
yeah,
to do it from scratch, which I like and I appreciate, but just restaurant stuff is so expensive, man. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like it just is what it is. Like,
Uh,
putting a hood system in, all that kind of stuff, man. Walk-in refrigerators, like, bro,
mm.
they're, 50, $100,000.
Oh,
Hoods, 150,
your hoods are 15 feet, 20 foot,
12
12,
foot,
12
but
foot.
it's an island hood. So it's double sided and it's
Oh,
it's
okay.
optimized for it's solid fuel. It's a solid fuel on one side, so it's a self cleaning hood, but it
Mhm.
also it's just super expensive, bro. I mean, just the hood itself was 150 grand.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah, I could
That's not installation or anything. Like it's
yeah.
just it's crazy. So like now the way I'm going is like, man, if I were to open another kitchen, I would just have a regular exhaust hood and I would do all electric.
Yeah,
Forget about the gas.
that's exactly was my point was, so I think when I finally do open, everything's electric. I don't
Yeah,
wanna
just
do I don't wanna
dude.
do a
And
hood.
because here's the thing. I understand where some chefs are coming from. No, I need gas. I need that. I'm like,
Yeah.
bitch. Until you pay that bill,
Dude, I
you ain't
know.
gonna you ain't gonna say shit. Like,
Yeah.
shut up. Like I tell people, like people tell me at my house, like, oh, you don't have gas at your house? No, fuck no. I got kids, bro. Like,
Mhm.
dude. One of my like they're a friend of mine, their vacation house just burnt down to the ground because there was a
Oh my
pinhole
goodness.
leak of gas. Yeah, but it's like, dude, that's in my house, man. I'm sorry, man. Like if I were to do a gas stove, like it would have to be just me and my wife. But I get too anxious. Like even here, look in this place. Oh, I got the camera here, but I put a mini split. You see that little heater in the
Yeah,
corner
I do
here?
see that. Yeah,
This one,
yeah.
this one,
Uh-huh,
not
uh-huh.
not not the
Yeah, the
not
one in the
this one,
back.
but the
The
other
one
one.
in the back. Yeah, yeah.
That's powered by propane, right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the previous homeowner, he jerry rigged it. He didn't
Nice.
set it up properly. He pigtailed it. The electric.
Yeah.
He did it himself, and so it's not safe because it doesn't have a box around the wires. The wires were hanging and dangling, right? So when the gas guy came to put in the propane tank, he's like, "Listen, I'm not an electrician, but he's like, if this safety ever fails, it's a bomb."
Oh,
Like,
snap.
because he's like, this wire's going to overheat, and what's going to happen is if it catches fire, he's like, it's gonna be a bomb.
Yeah, it's just in catch, yeah.
Anyway, brother, I didn't freaking waste any time, man. I changed out to a mini split. You see that mini split
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there?
right there. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Bro, mini split electric. Call it a day, bro. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, was it expensive? Yes, but it's just like you got to pick and choose your battles, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
do you wanna like be at risk? Like, kitchen's different, but like I'm telling you right now, like if it were me, like if I'm going into another kitchen, I would buy something pre-existing that already has the hood system because
Oh,
let's face it, Captive Air is the best, but they're
yes.
super spendy.
Yeah.
But it's people don't realize this. It's not just about the hoods. It's about cleaning. The
Yeah.
hoods cleaning. It's about the maintenance. It's about the fire marshal coming and
Uh,
inspecting the hoods and making sure they're kosher. Like, do you clean the hoods at your place, or how does it work?
so I get it 3 times a year. So every 4 months, pretty much like a season, pretty much. And then it's 200 every time they come out to check and
Two
inspect.
hundred.
200.
Damn, that ain't nothing. How big
That's
is the hood?
nothing.
Sorry.
Dude, it's a 10-foot hood, but I don't use it. So it's not dirty. Like literally, it's just besides like the one little corner that I'm in, that sometimes it gets a little action, if that. That I don't
Yeah,
need the damn hood. Like I truly don't. Um,
because you're just boiling water. You don't have
it's
any.
just
It's barely cooking.
just
Yeah,
boiling water, pretty much. Everything's on steam power. I do have a little tabletop fryer that barely emits anything that I
yeah.
kind of self-contain. So I don't need a hood. But
Well, is the
200
is the is the fryer gas or is it
electric,
electric?
electric. Yeah,
Yeah, so you don't need it. You could just
don't need it.
You just need a regular exhaust. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
So
what I was trying to explain to people. Like I'm going I like having a gas stove and all, but like if I were opening up another space, I would and I didn't have enough money. Like if I didn't have enough capital, I would just freaking go electric everything.
yeah,
Like good example, like with the bakery that I proposed, there's only one hood in there. Like everything
yeah,
else is inductions. Like I wanted to, I have a candy burner on the list, but just to have what you need to have in there, because then you have to have everything. It's
yeah.
just too much sometimes. Like good example, like I don't know, chef. I forgot Brad Kilgore, who
Okay.
just opened a restaurant in San Francisco. He said the same thing. He's like, dude, I opened everything freaking
With
no
inductions.
hoods. Like
Yeah. Hmm.
exactly. Like inductions, a regular vent, regular HVAC,
Hmm.
because everything else is way more reasonable. Like, the fridges, the pass, all that stuff is way more reasonable. Like the dish machine, you can lease it nowadays.
Hmm.
The stainless steel tables for the dishes, like all that's reasonable. But,
Hmm.
for the most part, it's so true, man.
Yeah. I do want to chime in though. Like, I know we're like spitting about like inductions. Do your current electricity of that space though needs to be upgraded to 240 volts. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
So I know
Yeah.
we hadn't really talked about it. Most
Well, and
standard plugs is like 110. It needs to be updated.
yeah.
Yeah, the bigger one.
Yep, you're 100% right. So, electricity is very important, but I will say they used to be crap. Like the
Yes.
inductions, the hot plates used to be crap. And
Mhm.
I hate to say this, but listen, everybody out there, I have 4 inductions for Grano, 4 inductions for no, 6 all day. So,
Mhm.
4 cuz you can just make something on the fly real quick on a station.
Yeah.
It makes sense. And like you don't have to go to the stove, or like a good example at Grano, we can keep soup hot. We can do, we can do a
Mhm.
lot of things. The Garmager can cook over there. It doesn't require a hood system.
Yeah.
And so I think and here's the thing, I buy the cheap ones too, the Advanco ones,
The Vanco,
and
yes.
they are tanks for
Literal
150
tanks.
bucks.
Yep.
150 bucks. Like behind the scenes, you don't need to
Mhm.
do the show.
Mhm.
And so like, it's like it's super important for me to like really, really focus on like, because here's the thing, if you can, and I tell people all the time, and I know we gotta shut it down here real quick,
Mhm.
but I tell people all the time, like the less capital expenses you can put up, the cheaper it's going to be for you to operate. And
Correct.
like what I recommend is like go, unless you have a financial backer, like go in is super scrappy
Yeah.
and go through your first year of business, buy shit from Walmart, let it
Yeah.
phase out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like with Grano, we went way cheaper on the equipment,
Uh,
just because it was just like, I know, okay, I'm gonna have to buy another one in a year, but that's fine.
yeah.
Let's get the feet wet.
Like you make
Whereas
use of it though, like it's
where
fine.
yeah, where like Ember is the creme de la creme, man. There was no expense that wasn't spent, but we're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
Like I hate to say it, like it just is what it is. But I think, if that was a little different because that place was built from the ground up.
Yeah. No.
So it was
I'm
different.
still rocking my I have 2 Polysciences inductions from like,
Oh, really?
yeah. I got the big clunky ones, bro. I put them through so much abuse. It's still kicking and rocking. It's so good. But again, do I recommend you spending $500 per one of those? No, I do not. You don't need it.
Yeah.
I did because I knew I was gonna use it down the line eventually. I just didn't know what, so I bought. I have 2 of those. That's how I did the event last night. Two
Yeah. Oh, nice.
inductions, and then I had 1 tabletop for the steamer. That's it. Super
Yeah. There
easy.
you go. There you go. That's nice. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Restaurants, man. A lot of people, I try to tell people, man, the restaurant business is tough. It's hard, you know. Like for you, like so good example, like with our restaurants, it's Grano, we're slated. I did a budget this year and these restaurants will easily do over $1 million each, but like we're
Mhm.
slating for 1.5 in each restaurant.
Uh-huh.
And so, but the thing is we're in a small town, right? And so they compete against each other. So we're really trying to differentiate, the 2 restaurants. But here's the thing: if you're under $1 million or under 750,000 with, with revenue,
Mhm.
it's so hard to justify having a salaried person or
Yeah,
employees.
or like a
You
big
know,
purchase too, like a 15
yeah,
grand like tilt skillet that I really want.
yeah, yeah. It's like, dude, you gotta you have to pick and choose your battles. And it's
Yeah.
like now, coming from Silicon Valley, coming from San Francisco and California, like, we didn't like we just it was way different than coming to Montana and building a restaurant, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's just so it's such a different thing. And now it's funny because I feel like I'm way more educated on what actually needs to happen, because
Mhm.
the thing is like in California you have the people, you have the workforce, you have the tools and the equipment and the construction crews. Here you don't have that.
Yeah.
You like And so it's just super important. Like you have to know, you like my advice to somebody wouldn't be the same if I lived there and walked in their shoes. Like
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
complex. And so I think it's really important. Like, everybody out there, if you have a dream of opening your little restaurant, make sure you do your research.
Yeah. Do your research, but also like you wouldn't know until you kind of get in it. But position lower than you would. Don't start here. Literally building blocks, I should say. Don't
Yeah.
shoot for the sky right away. At least I guess if you want, go into debt. But don't do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Little
Well,
block.
some debt is good debt, but like if you're out over your skis, then it gets tough. It's really hard to dare because then you absolutely need to hit a certain threshold for revenue
Yeah.
just to stay afloat.
Yeah.
And usually that's how restaurants start. Like a good example with Angler in San Francisco, that restaurant swallowed, I would say at least, I don't know offhand, but I would say at least around $8 to $9 million,
Oh
right?
wow.
That payoff is tough, dude. That
Hmm.
payoff is tough. And so, there's three things that I know now. One, I want to own the real estate, or I want to, at least, like, especially if it's not in a metropolitan city, I want to own the real estate so that way I
Yeah.
have more control. And
Yeah.
I also want to, I also want to make sure that that the restaurant is going to be successful. So check your demographics. Do your
Hmm.
comp set. Comp set is when you check the restaurants around. It's just super important that you do that before you
Hmm.
decide to open a restaurant.
That was the last. It's just funny. It's coming back there. That was the last piece of advice I gave my old sous chef. But he's in Florida. I was like, just do a quick comp set of what the other ones the restaurants are around. Just because, like, I know you don't care about you're not purchasing the stuff, but just in case you had a question to the chef, be like, it's costing this. Be like, well, I noticed over there, blah blah. It's this price point. Can we get? I'm giving him all little tools to step up every now and then, and I
Yeah,
think it's paying off now. And he's like, "Yo, I just got." I was like, it was like last week that he just got bumped up to um headline. So I was just like, "Hey, that's what's up, bro. Keep at it."
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, and anybody like that's what I recommend too. Like, just go start in a restaurant. Like, you don't need all this. Just go apply for the job, bro.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
that's good, man. I like that.
Any other
Cool.
questions, concerns, guys? Let us know down in the comments. Any other videos? Actually, we're asking for videos to react to, or any kind of techniques you guys want us to get in touch. Um, Drop it down into the comments. Let me know, and then we will go through them each on the video live. That way, you can get full perspective on it. But I think other than that, we are good to go. Peace.
Awesome. Hey, see y'all next week.